You can't make this stuff up. Stephen A. Smith is on another rant about Jasmine Crockett, and he's mad at everybody but himself. Y'all, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here. Now, I wanted to go ahead and watch this video together because I seen it in the morning. I was like, wait, let me watch it with my people so we can talk about this, because Stephen A. Smith going off about how everyone's coming at him and, oh, he said Jasmine Crockett was intelligent. He's basically gaslighting us. So let's go ahead and take a look right now. Here we go.
On many occasions, but every now and then you get pissed off. And this whole thing involving me and Jasmine Crockett and the fallout from it, particularly from the Black community and from the Democratic community, has really, really raked my last nerves. People are labeling me as being disrespectful. They're hinting towards misogynism. All of a sudden, we got to bring up, well, Stephen A., he has a history of being critical of Black women. I have a history of being critical of everybody. Okay? And also being complimentary of everybody. When you deserve the compliment, I'll give it to you. When you don't, I won't. The same applies to me from other people. I'm a big boy. I can take it. As long as it's accurate. But when people are using things for clickbait material, or just because they got their sensitive antennas up, or just because they want to be stooges for the Democratic Party, it pisses me off. Because I think that's a problem that exists in this nation. And I think that's a problem that specifically existed when it comes to the African American community, the Black community, which obviously I am a part of. And this notion that I'm selling out the Democratic Party, who the hell told you I was a part of your party? Who told you I vibe with you? Have you not been listening? I don't like none of y'all's. I'm talking about either side of the aisle. I think with elected officials, with Capitol Hill, I'm not talking about specific individuals. I'm talking about the apparatus, the infrastructure that's in place on Capitol Hill. I think what they've done to the American people is criminal. I think they're the reasons we're divided. I think they're the reasons why our divisions are so conspicuous and so palpable that it's made us so volatile towards one another. So I'm going to do it.
This whole, the system needs to be torn down and build up again, which I'm all for tearing down the system and, coming together and all this other shit, right? But no one has an actual plan. That's the problem. Yeah, we can burn down the system, but what happens after we burn it down? Like, what's the next plan? Nobody has a plan. And Stephen A. Smith doesn't have a plan either. He's just talking because it sounds great.
Everything that I can. Although I might speak loudly, although I might speak acerbically, trust you me, that's all I'm going to do. In an effort to bring out facts and to make sure that we understand where everybody's coming from. I want to state for the record, I owe no apology to Representative Jasmine Crockett or any of her supporters. I said nothing disrespectful to that lady or about that lady. I've even said she is welcome to come on this show. She has been invited for weeks. The same applies to AOC. Hakeem Jeffries has been on this show. Chuck Schumer has been invited to this show. Gavin Newsom has been invited to this show. Eric Swalwell will be on this show. Ossoff out of Georgia, I want him on the show. I can't make politicians, elected officials come on the show if they don't want to, but you're not going to.
But here's my question. As far as the political aspect, who is Stephen A. Smith? Who is Stephen A. Smith? End up turning around and then just going on the other side, because in this same show, he has Chip Roy, who's congressman from Texas, right? Who's a Republican. So these Republicans easily will go on his show, say whatever. He doesn't push his back. He doesn't challenge because he doesn't know what he's pushing back or challenging on. He just wants these people on his show to build his brand in this new political aspect, but he's not trying to actually have conversations. And so, you know, if he's been talking about them negatively, no, I don't want to go on your fucking show. Hell nah. And I don't blame them because, again, it's not like, okay, I'm going to Fox News, even though Fox News is an entertainment company, according to them, in that lawsuit, they're an entertainment company, right? But at least I know they have a market and I know people who I am trying to grasp to. Stephen A. Smith, when it comes to politics, he's more of an internet sensation. He's not taken seriously. So it's two different things, right? It's night and day.
Silence me. You're not going to mute me with your absentee status. If you don't show up, the party still goes on. The show still goes on. I'm going to do what I do. Now, to remind people of what I said about Jasmine Crockett, all I said, ladies and gentlemen, was that when you're cussing the president out and you're calling him a Hitler wannabe or going in front of public platforms and calling the president of the United States a piece of shit, all I said was, is that going to help your 750,000 plus constituents? That's all I asked. That's all I asked. And then folks act like I've...
So what about Trump, whose his constituents is everyone in the United States of America and even abroad, to tell you the truth. But what about him? Are we not concerned about his language? And Stephen A. Smith is literally like, oh, you can't say nothing about Massa. Massa gonna hear you. You know, that slave talk shit. And it's all like, you literally see this man. He just said that she had a low IQ last week. He's been talking about Jasmine Crockett. So is she supposed to be nice to him just because he's the president? No. And again, she doesn't have to work directly with Trump. She has to work with Congress, you know, her peers, but she doesn't have to work directly to Trump. So whatever she says is whatever she says. I mean, is she wrong for what she's saying? No. I guess if you want, could she be nicer? I guess, but we don't want nice. We don't.
Lost my mind because I asked that question. I'm saying, are you not trying to win the midterms? Are you not trying to ensure that he doesn't win 2028? Aren't you concerned that the power brokers that be, since he's not only considered a rare type politician, but a cultural figure who sort of shifted the paradigm to such a degree that conservatives have gained more traction than ever before, bypassing traditional conventional media, creating their own platforms, having billions of downloads every day, gaining traction, winning an election, winning every swing state, winning the popular vote since 2004, getting more young voters, more female votes, more everything. All of these things happened in the last election. I'm pointing that out and highlighting how this strategy might not be good for you. And because of that, we're having a conversation nationwide about me being disrespectful. Have you seen these politicians talking to each other on Capitol Hill? Did you see Pam Bondi talking to Senator Blumenthal or Schiff? Did you see Kash Patel talking at other people? So they got a right to talk that way towards each other. But I don't have a right as an American citizen, as a conscientious observer, as a voter, as somebody that has his own airways available to him to...
No, you don't. And the reason why you don't is because you're not serious. You're $100 million richer. We know your contract that you got, right? You honestly don't care. This is to boost your ego and boost your platform. This is why you want the Jasmine Crockett's, AOC, and so forth on your show, to build your platform, to bring some actual legitimacy to it. Because we see how you cater to the right, and we see what, like, he had Megyn Kelly call into his show, and Megyn Kelly was like, oh my God, you're doing such good work. And here's the thing about that. they're saying this because he's in opposition of the Democrats. But if he was in opposition of them and going just as hard as he does on the Democrat, like, they wouldn't have anything to do with him. This is why they're going on his show. Because he literally glazes them the whole time they're on his show.
Ask a question without being labeled disrespectful or misogynistic? That's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing. We can't do that. I got to come on the airwaves and remind everybody that Jasmine Crockett is an intelligent black woman. I took it for granted that y'all knew that. I got to remind you that she's educated, that she has degrees, including a law degree, that she's licensed to practice law in Texas and Arkansas and on the federal level. I have to sit up there and couch me asking her a question by saying all of that? Really? That's what we're doing? That's what we do.
He's playing semantics. He's trying to play in y'all face. Again, gaslighting y'all. Because that's not what he first initially said about how great she was. That was after you got all that backlash. That's why you came out and was like, oh, she educated, she this, she that. That wasn't your initial response. And again, Jasmine Crockett literally goes live every day, either from Instagram, YouTube, or even on TikTok. You can watch what she's doing. She's one of the most effective people that we have on the Democratic side or on the left, because she's always engaging with people. She doesn't care.
Because I asked the question. This is why I said what I said. This notion that I'm supposed to be siding with the Democrats. Don't you know who I am? I'm a centrist. I'm Stephen A. I'm not married to either side. Don't like either of them. And I believe this particular Democratic Party should be purged.
Here's the thing. The only time he really gets traction is when he's talking about the Democrats. And then they always have him on Fox or CNN as representing the Democrats. But if you're not a Democrat, say, hey, I'm an independent, I'm this, I'm that. Like, you're getting booked because first, you're a black man. And secondly, because you're talking negatively about the Democrats. We know that you're grifting. This is the issue.
I'm talking about the individuals. I'm not talking about how, Hakeem Jeffries should go away, or Schumer and AOC or whatever should go away. I'm talking about the apparatus that exists, the leaderless rut that it is, seemingly no direction. What principled position do you stand on, etc.? You don't have it. You don't have it. Why am I saying this? Not because I want you to lose. It's because I want you to get it together, and legitimately compete with the other side and stop riding the coattails of a last election that you keep living off of, talking about you only lost by 1.5%. When in fact,
he's talking about Kamala Harris. But this is the thing about his messaging, because we started talking about Jasmine Crockett, but you're not talking about Jasmine Crockett. You're talking about the Democrats as a whole, which, yeah, they should be criticized. But again, you're getting backlash for talking about Jasmine Crockett, not the Democrats. And he's mixing in the two, trying to confuse everybody. But, with the whole, the Democrats, they don't have a message. They ain't got a leader. They ain't got this. We know the Democrats suck. But right now, the Republicans are in charge. We need to be worried about what the hell they doing, because they're the ones going to destroy this country.
It's not about that being the reality. It's about where Biden was in 2020 and where you regress to by 2024. That number was more precipitous. And because I asked these questions, I have to sit here and defend my character for asking a question and saying, is that going to work for you? To be every bit as belligerent as the president? Listen, Gavin Newsom could try that out as the governor of California. He's about to leave office. He's got a term limit out there. He's departing and trying to keep himself relevant for a potential run in 2028. That makes total sense. If you're in Congress now, you got work to do. And just going after the president and going off ain't going to cut it. We got Jasmine Crockett. Do y'all know that she sponsored 37 pieces of legislation? That includes bills, resolutions, amendments, etc. Stuff like Free Speech Act of 2025, Swift Vote Act, Clear ID Act, Abortion Care Awareness, Higher Credit Act. According to Congress.gov, Jasmine Crockett has co-sponsored 831 pieces of legislation, bills, resolutions, amendments. 10 have become law. Congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. Don't we need to hear more about that? As opposed to saying the president's a piece of shit?
Now, this is something interesting because I talked about this last time. I know it seems like Jasmine Crockett has been in Congress and for years now, but she actually just got in Congress as of 2023. As of 2023. So what does that mean? She has not been a congresswoman since the Democrats have had power or control of the House. She has always been on the minority end. She has never been in the majority yet. So let's see what she can do in these next few years. Again, it's 2023, so it's only been 2 years. And you're trying to hold her to a different standard than everybody else. And you want her, oh, don't open your, don't say nothing because Massa can hear you talking. That's what you want to do. Let that lady cook and do her job. Shut up.
Don't we need to hear about what you're doing? I didn't say you didn't do anything. I said, don't we need to hear about it? Don't we need to know your record? So you can swing for the fences with the best of them. That's all. We see Ted Cruz and Senator Cornyn and Representative Tripp Roy, who's about to be on this show, talking more about the issues than her. That's not to say she's not doing. I'm saying we should know what she's doing, as opposed to how she feels about the president, because who the hell don't know that? But I'm wrong. You got to be kidding me. You think I didn't see the news about those young Republicans and some of the things that they were saying? Which I will get into.
Can we stop calling them young? I haven't talked about it on my channel. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about it. But we got to stop calling them young. They were late 20s, early 30s. Like, they as old as me. Like, come on. Like, let's stop playing. Stop it. Stop it with the young shit.
To a little bit later, talk about bringing up anti-Semitic and racist verbiage and all of this. You think I didn't see that? You think me and others in this country don't have a palpable fear of what's coming up the pike, the kind of nonsense that Trump's behavior breeds in terms of contempt and disrespect towards authority, being the showman that he is and what have you, and how detrimental that could be to our country? Think I don't know that? I've spoken about it on several occasions. Unfortunately, that's not what people are hearing. Instead, people are hearing about me asking a question to a representative who happens to be an educated, smart, accomplished black woman. And how dare me ask a question about whether or not a strategy of hers is being effective. And because of that, it creates some kind of brouhaha. We got cats with podcasts smoking weed, talking shit about me. We got women sitting up there saying it was disrespectful. It was disrespectful. To ask a question, y'all criticize and ask men questions all the time.
You wasn't just asking a question. You knew what you were doing, and you were feeding your base that red meat to get people reacting. Like, come on, man. Like, Stephen A., you know what you're doing. Like, Stephen A. Smith is a smart man. Listen, he didn't get that $100 million dollar contract from Disney because he dumb. He's very smart.
My man Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. Number of love for the brother because he's smart, independent thinker. And at least when he has something to say, he reaches out to me. Mad love to my man Matt Barnes from All the Smoke Podcast as well, because he does the same whether they agree with me or not. And I appreciate that. This is Charlamagne the God talking about me for a second. Listen to what he had to say.
As far as what he said about Jasmine Crockett, and me and Stephen A. spoke about this behind the scenes this week, but I don't think any elected official is above critique, but you got to criticize their policy. And it seems like Stephen A. is criticizing her style. And if you are criticizing her style and telling her she needs to change her style to be able to get things done, but also saying that, also telling her to do that, to get things done with one of the most uncouth political figures ever in Donald Trump, then I got to say that, you bugging. All right. Trump talks crazy. So you can't call out Jasmine for allegedly talking crazy, his words, but not Trump. And I also believe that, Tamika Mallory and Bakari Sellers, they need to have a conversation with Stephen A. They should go on Stephen A's show and explain to him why playing nice with Trump doesn't work. And I have no problem with Jasmine Crockett and her opposition or her resistance to Trump. I have no problem with her calling out Trump and challenging the president of the United States of America. Yeah, I have no problem.
I'm not.
Listen, I don't really like booty sniffer Charlemagne the God. I mean, he said he sniffs chairs on his show. Like, I'm not making that up. But the booty sniffer, I don't really care for him too much, but he's right in what he's saying. However, here's the thing: if they go on Stephen A. Smith's show, what benefit are they going to get? Because Stephen A. Smith isn't trying to be educated. He literally is on a one-track mind about getting views, which equals AdSense dollars. That's what he cares about. It's not about being right or wrong. This literally, and I think a lot of times too, people in this political space, they honestly don't care about you or me. They care about their dollar. And they're going to go with the trending headlines and the trending topics to make their money. That's what they care about. And I hate to put it like that, but it's true. It's true. And especially when you have rich people trying to speak for the average day American. Get your ass up out of here.
Bugging.
And by the way, I'm the average day American. So if you want to donate $1 to the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, you see it down at the bottom. I had to put in a plug real quick. Hold on.
Respect the hell out of Charlemagne the God. I understand where he's coming from. I respectfully disagree. I'm not bugging because I wasn't talking about Trump directly. I'm talking about the representatives in the House and the Senate who are at his mercy, but you have to deal with. The fact is, by talking with them, figuring out a way to finagle your way into the equation to get things done on behalf of your constituency is your job. Going off about a man that everybody, including the Republicans, would like to go off about if they didn't think it was going to cost them their seats in the House or in the Senate, they would do it too. Figure out a way to work around that nonsense is my point. Not sitting there and trying to have lunch with him and glad hand with him. That's not what I was saying.
No,
but I
that's
understand how that could have been misconstrued by somebody like a Charlemagne the God. Bakari Sellers, however, has a different agenda. But let's listen to what his sorry ass has to say before I go further. Go ahead.
There is a through line between the Ice Cubes and the Jason Whitlocks and the Stephen A. Smiths. These individuals have been around since we have been on this freedom struggle. There have always been individuals out there which exhibit behaviors of charlatans who utilize, some people are in it for the change and some people are in it for the change, right? And I think that that's indicative. And they find the easiest path to the front of the line. And Stephen A. Smith is someone who doesn't have the depth to talk about House oversight or the appropriations process, right? And how you're able to bring resources back to your community or what Jasmine is doing. So he rather lampoon her.
I am not fond of Bakari Sellers. I think that he is an individual that is so judgmental of other people that he is allergic to mirrors. I'm quite sure you never took money from anybody, huh? I certainly have. The only money I've ever gotten from anybody are jobs I worked.
So basically, he's trying to say he's bought and paid for. However, what Bakari was talking about, he doesn't know how legislation or anything works. Stephen A. Smith is just talking just to be talking. He doesn't know how it actually goes down. Because listen to this next.
But I don't know your history, so I'm not going to go there. What I do know is this. First of all, never mention me and that other individual who everybody knows I despise in the same breath. I'm nothing like him. Secondly, Bakari Sellers is right about my lack of depth. My issue is, why are you acting like I act like I have that depth. Sports is my thing. Politics is what I observe. Not to the degree that you do. But what Bakari Sellers needs to recognize is, why don't you tell what the truth is? Why don't you speak about the level of resentment that you really, really have? That the American people are more willing to listen to somebody like me or the others that you mentioned rather than you, who's been doing this for years.
This is the problem. This is the problem right here. Directly, this is the problem. Because this man told you don't know what you're talking about, and you're like, yeah, I know I don't know what I'm talking about and how things work. But why do they want to listen to me rather than, well, that should even be more of you to educate yourself so you can give people accurate information, because you don't give people accurate information. That is the problem. You are answering that question. All you do is give your opinion. At least frame yourself as, oh, this is just an opinion show. Do not put it out there that you're giving the people the truth, the honest answer. No, you're not, because you don't know how things work. You're just rambling and talking. And then you want people to come on your show and then tell you how things... No, do your own fucking research. A big show like him, especially being on Sirius Radio, you can't tell me that he already has a team behind him looking up information, looking up things. Like, you have the money. Like, unlike me, this is a one-man show. I got to look up my own information, do my own research. You have a research team there to help you with all that. You could simply educate yourself, and you're choosing not to. They want to listen to me. Yeah, because you're Stephen A. Smith. You already have a name and a brand. Bakari Sellers is just a guy from CNN. Nobody's really like, oh, like, yeah, I'm listening to him every day. He got to build up his brand. And let's be honest about something else. Another reason why Stephen A. Smith is significant, and let's go ahead and put it out there, because he is a black man. There's not too many black people in the political space that actually gets attention or recognition. So Stephen A. Smith should even more want to make sure that he's putting out accurate information, want to be uplifting people, but he's mad because people are coming at the defense of Jasmine Crockett, which they should, because she's out here constantly harassed, and because she talks back, oh, she needs to watch her mouth. This woman literally said that she had to be fitted for a bulletproof vest just for her own safety. All the death threats that she has been getting. But you're not even thinking about that, because you're thinking, my feelings are hurt. Why are you guys attacking me? Because you a little punk ass bitch. That's why we're attacking you. Y'all, let me go ahead and get the hell up off of here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody's love and support. Again, I'm just here trying to educate y'all and simplify things for y'all. Some people hate it, but I appreciate the ones who love it. Deuces, everybody. Hit that like, subscribe to the channel, but we out.